I saw some spiritual truth written into nature after a really bad windstorm, and I haven't been able to actually shake this. So you see, some trees looked alive until you look closer, and that's exactly how many believers live. And let me explain this. So the other day, I was walking around my stepdad's property after a really bad windstorm, and there was so much damage. There was trees down, there was branches snapped, and the stuff everywhere. Trees literally on the ground that fell over. And as we walked, something actually caught my attention. The tops of the trees were really vibrant and green, and they were full of life, but they were exposed to the light. But as you look down the trunk, the lower parts were thin and brittle and almost dying, and almost looked like hollow. So half the tree looked alive and half of it looked dead. And it stopped me because it looked a lot like our walk with Jesus. And when a tree is consistently exposed to the light, it grows really strong. But when parts of it remain in darkness, those areas weaken and thin out and eventually die. And even if it looks healthy from a distance, Jesus said it really plainly in John 15:4-5. Abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit in itself unless it abides in the vine. Neither can you unless you abide in me. And I am the vine and you are the branches. And he who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. And that's exactly what I saw in those trees. The areas connected to the light, they were alive, but the areas that were cut off were dying. And we cannot grow without staying connected to him, our Father, and we cannot bear fruit without abiding in him, without his presence. And the tallest trees were also the healthiest ones, reaching upward and fully exposed to the light. And it reminded me that spiritual growth only happens when we stay connected to the source, and with growth comes pruning. And sometimes God has to cut away things in our lives that are actually harming us, even when it hurts. And pruning isn't punishment, it's actually preparation. And growth can feel painful, but it's necessary if we want to live and bear fruit. So if you're in a season that feels dark, don't stay there. Abide and step into the light and stay connected to the vine, because without him, we don't just stop growing, we wither.